She just said maybe we should wait till the next meeting.
Well, while we're waiting,
The amendment that I'd be asking for is minimal, and I don't think it would change a second hearing. If we did that, it's a matter of adding a, that's where we were looking at.
Yes, the current chapter 41 states that the mayor shall appoint or may appoint a chaplain for the police department. The statute says that the mayor may appoint one or more chaplains, and what the mayor is interested in doing is getting as much interest in our men and women of the faith who are pastors to volunteer their services. So we have multiple individuals who can provide services when our police department needs those services. And the provision isn't in this current amendment, it's in the current chapter, and what the mayor would be asking is, instead of saying a chaplain, eliminate the letter A and put an S at the end of chaplains, and that could be done either as an amendment to this ordinance. As the mayor indicated, it's up to the solicitor. We don't believe that would be a significant change enough to delay this, or if the solicitor believes there would be a significant delay, we would ask that the council consider the ordinance as currently written, and then we will propose that change at a later date.
as I said, this came as a recent request to my office from one of our members of clergy. And in thinking about it and looking at the ordinance, I realized that we often, if not very frequently, refer to our community as a diverse community. And I think that diversity needs to be expressed in this area also, with other areas of faith and denominations that would be able to accommodate different types of situations. In other towns, it's very common to have multiple, especially in the cities, multiple chaplains. And the state statute actually refers to one or more chaplains. So it is a permissible use. When we created the current 41, we created it with a chaplain, which I really don't understand why they would have done that, but that's the way it currently reads, and we would recommend that we change that to multiple chaplains. And we also have to update that whole situation, because in reviewing this on that request, it was determined that the current ordinance requires that we appoint the chaplain annually. So currently, we've probably been going for about 2 years without a chaplain here in the township. So we have to get a little more diligent on this position, not only from the police department, but on the administration side, to make sure that we stay current with this. But we would like to see more diversity in that area.
During the last council meeting, there were some council members that had questions for the solicitor and administration. Was there any other discussion, or was there any concerns?
In this chapter 41, as we were going through it and reviewing it, as I was reading what our solicitor had mentioned, that this, approving this, is defining the authority under the state law. It's the overall interest of the township for this ordinance. Is that correct?
I know, yes, Councilwoman, I think what I pointed out before was that under the Faulkner Act, it requires in this form of government that there are a certain number of departments and department heads. In your code, the police department is a department, and you haven't had a department head of that department. You have a chief of police, but he sits in that position and has authority under the under the Police Chief's Rights Act, but that's not a Faulkner Act department. So all this ordinance does is bring the current, your ordinance into compliance with what state law requires in terms of Faulkner Act departments and department heads.
Under Department Act government,
Yes,
Our form of government.
yeah,
form of government.
yeah.
And we currently have 6 departments under Faulkner. Each of those departments has a director, correct?
Well, not the police department. Yeah. Other than that, yes.
The police chief can be the department
You
head.
can,
Which is outlined in chapter
It says-
41 in the ordinance.
yes.
Correct.
Okay.
That actually says that. The chief of police may be appointed the department director.
So we're
Council
not,
President, may I ask the attorney or solicitor for interpretation? Since that says that in our current ordinance, current chapter 41, does that, the way it reads in 41 currently, does that conflict with the state statute? In terms of the chief shall, I believe it says the chief shall be the director of the department.
Oh, you're, the way it, well, I'm looking at the change, so that's.
Oh, the change, the current, no, under the current
Yeah,
ordinance, it
correct.
reads the chief shall be, and the
Correct.
ordinance was established by council. And council.
I understand, Mayor, I understand your, yeah, now I understand your point, which is, the answer is yes, that position, that, if the current code says the chief shall serve as the department head, that would infringe upon, the mayor's right to appoint a department head, someone other than the chief. But always remember that if whoever the mayor appoints as a department head is subject to council approval as well, under Faulkner, but yes.
Correct, and would you also agree that in this form of government, since I've been mayor since 2007, that authority to appoint a director has existed regardless of the current ordinance that contradicts that, because state statute would override that ordinance?
Our local laws need to be in conformance with state law, right? In some areas, you could always, yes. The answer is, there is like a footnote to that, not worth explaining. That's what I was almost going to do, but generally speaking, it is true that if your local ordinance, the local ordinance directly conflicts with state statute, it's invalid.
And the position that is in the current 41 and in the amended 41 of department director is not the same title as a public safety director.
No, it's very different.
Correct.
It's very different. In that instance, years ago, I was sitting up here in 2007.
Yeah.
We actually went across into the courtroom because there wasn't enough room, like we have a lot of people here tonight. But a public safety director is really a civilian director of the police department and acts as the appointing authority, or the appropriate authority. But here, this position is not that. This is just a Faulkner Act director position, like your recreation, like your public works, etc.
So what kind of authority would the director have over the police chief and the police department?
Well, he would not have the authority to infringe upon the chief's rights to run day-to-day operations. They would go to issues such as issues the mayor has authority right now, quite frankly, but it really is the mayor could delegate his authority to a department head, but it goes to budgeting, it goes to other sort of big picture policy issues, but that director can't tell the police chief where to send his officers or how to run the day-to-day operations, can infringe upon police.
so essentially what this is a code cleanup.
It is. It does make your code consistent with the Faulkner, because it specifically provides for the appointment of a director, which before it did not.
Which is what we're doing with the other chapters as well.
Absolutely.
opportunity.
My concern with introducing this now is we still have not, and that's partially my fault, I did bring the list of questions that I had worked on, and we had agreed that we would give to the police chief and administration so that we could get some answers in reference to some of the problems that seem to be ongoing between the police department and administration. So I just have a concern with now putting somebody else involved in this situation until council can figure out and see if there's anything we can do to help get things back on a working relationship between the police and administration. There's definitely trust issues out there, and I think that, and I understand quite well, we're doing this for the Faulkner Act, but I have a problem with introducing it and voting for it at this point, just because I think we need to try to get a handle on what the real situation is.
When we introduce this, though, we're not voting on it, we're just introducing it, am I correct?
Yeah, well, you're voting to introduce
Well,
it,
right, for introducing
and then
it.
it'll be a public hearing.
Right.
If the next council, it's advertised, there'll be a public hearing.
There's if introduced, can we get some of Ms. Stowe's questions answered in between the
And
council?
they're not just Mrs. Skull's questions, Jason.
Well, I said Ms. Stowe because you're the one that raised, so.
Well, I wasn't the only one. It was something we were all talking about, and it was supposed to be a question provided all council involved. Unless council members sitting here think everything's hunky-dory, they don't read the newspaper, and they don't.
No, we're referring to this chapter 41 code.
I think that there's no real rush. If it's been sitting there since 1991, why is there a big rush now to push it? That's just my feeling.
But are we not
100%
pushing
right.
it forward because we think that we're trying to get a public safety director? I don't think that's what we're saying.
No, I haven't said that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've told people it's not a public safety director and explained that to residents.
Which is not in the ordinance, therefore there can't be a public safety authority.
At this point. But there is the concern, and we've had that happen before. Now we have a director, they deserve more money, where is it going from here? Their impact on that police department right now, when things are so volatile, is my concern. As to who it would be.
If there's a motion to introduce, I'd entertain that. If council would like to hold off another meeting, it's completely up to council.
Council President, I just have a couple questions if Councilwoman Skull is finished.
Yes.
Okay. I know. I jotted a couple things down, and Andy, I know you probably noticed back and forward this whole code.
I know well, Diane, we spent a lot of time together.
We have spent a lot of time. Would this mean that we would not hear, I'm not pulling out the right department, that we would not hear any grievances anymore?
No, that's a separate issue.
That's a
That's not
separate,
in this ordinance.
that's not in this ordinance? Okay. All
No,
right.
that's a separate, entirely separate legal issue.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And, okay. Now, back to section 41.6, which we spoke about before,
Correct.
the appropriate authority, which you were told to call appropriate authority. I just want to read it out. The mayor serves as the appropriate authority of the Pemberton Township Police Department pursuant to the authority set forth in the Faulkner Act. The mayor performs and has all duties and responsibilities provided therein, including but not limited to the following: adopt and promulgate rules and regulations for the government of the police force and discipline of its members, officers, and employees. Develop and administer general policy for the management, operation, government, and discipline of the police force and its members, officers, and employees. Regularly meet and consult with the director, whoever that would be, of the police department and the chief of police concerning the operation and efficiency, which is wonderful, of the police force, its members, officers, and employees. Now, we met, we talked on that. That still stands. That was not moved around anywhere. Am I correct?
Yes, Councilman, the provisions you're reading is not a change. These were in your ordinance already.
But are they in the law? That
Correct.
was our question.
Yeah, right. No, but I was just
Okay.
answering Diane's question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was our question in
Correct.
the office.
Yeah.
Are these part of
Yes.
the law?
This was, right, part of the past, the ordinances that we read off here, and I didn't read them off, NJSA 40:69A-31. And for the record, if anyone needs to know, NJSA 40A colon 40-118 as well. Okay. Oh, one last question. So, Andy, this would basically cover the duties of the director, am I correct? Or what area would I find that in?
After you clarify that for Ms. Finney, can you please read the chief of police
Right.
duties?
Well, the department director.
No, the director duties, that's what I
Yes.
want. Yeah,
Yes,
okay,
right,
go
that's
ahead.
what I was.
Okay, all right.
Department director, like all department directors, would report to the administrator and mayor up the chain regarding the issues in their department. This does not outline specific duties of a department head other than, but under the Faulkner Act, the department head is the like chief manager of that department, subject to oversight by the administrator.
Okay, and I do see under the police, chief of police, number E, as we discussed, that this director would report at least monthly to the mayor and council in such form as shall be prescribed by each on the operation of the police force during the proceedings month, and make such other reports as may be requested by the mayor or council. Right? Is that it, Jason?
I'm not sure where you were reading.
I think that's under the police.
The police chief, right. You said you wanted
Yeah,
Andy to read it. Chief
yeah,
of police?
the section that Council President Allen was referring to
Okay.
reads, the chief of police shall be the head of the police force
Mhm.
and shall be directly responsible to the mayor or his designee, such as the director of police
Mhm.
or the business administrator, for the efficiency and routine day-to-day operations of the department regarding which the chief has authority. Pursuant to policies established by the mayor, the chief of police shall, then it goes through and lists the duties of the chief.
I just wanted to-
Most of which weren't changed that were already in the.
Right, I just wanted to ensure people that the chief of police position was not being taken out. As I said before, I entertain a motion to introduce, if not, whatever's council's pleasure.
I'd like to introduce ordinance. Chapter 41,
Which would be
for introduction,
ordinance 6.
and that would be 6.
Is there a second?
Introducing it again is allowing for the public, for us to have a public hearing, allowing for the public to comment.
Correct.
That's when they propose to talk about or have raised questions on this chapter 41.
Correct, or they could raise it in the public portion of the meeting tonight. Which I'm sure you'll hear some of that, it looks like, but I'm shocked. But anyway, yeah, formally, after an ordinance is introduced, you have a public hearing, and any member of the public can speak specifically about their concerns, or support, or whatever they want to say regarding the ordinance.
And us introducing this is not rushing to make a decision, am I correct? I'm not
I think that's,
issue on this.
well, I think that's a personal opinion. That's not a legal question, so I'm gonna stay away from that. You guys can talk about that yourself. But factually, you've been, right? Factually, you've been discussing it for a number of meetings, and now you're here.
Okay.
Whether that's a rush or not, that's for everyone else to decide.
Then I'll second it.
Amy, please poll the council.
Ms. Trueblood? Yes. Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Ms. Skull?
No,
Ms. Stinney?
No.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Discussion to set,
Mr. President, only indicate that the public hearing will be at the next meeting.
with public hearing on March 4th, which is the next council meeting. Discussion to set dates for 2015 budget meetings. Discussion to set dates for the 2015 budget meeting. Our town clerk was kind enough to provide us with a calendar and a timeline. The budget must be introduced by March 13th and adopted by April 24th. Council, are there any dates that you have in mind?
Mr. Council President, the dates that you have for the introduction of the budget and adoption of the budget are the dates set forth by local government services, but they sort of hid another little thing in there in their announcement of the dates. There's an asterisk that says that it's either those dates or the next regularly scheduled meeting. So technically, under DCA, local government services guidance, the council has until March 18th, which is the second meeting of March, to introduce, and the council would have until May 6th, the first meeting of May, to adopt the budget, assuming that DCA has authorized the adoption of the budget. That doesn't mean you have to do it on those days. You can do it before, but those are the outside dates that the council can act.
So you're saying we have until March 18th to introduce the budget?
That's correct.
Council, is there any recommendations for the budget meeting day?
check the snow forecast later.
That would be every weekend and Monday.
I guess everyone's calendar is great. We could do it tonight after this meeting.
Yeah, sure.
No, it's not that.
Oh, that's
It was a
right.
joke, it was a joke.
Yes.
Which Saturday? I hear March 7th, which is a Saturday.
I think that's a good one. I think that's great. Also, maybe if we can tag in there or Tuesday or a Thursday before that.
See, Ms. Trueblood
Yeah,
says.
I won't be on Saturday. Thursday.
Unless you do it like at 6 in the morning.
What about the 9th? March 9th, which is a Monday.
What time I have the meeting?
6 o'clock?
The only thing with that, I mean, I like Councilman Jackson's Saturday thing because we get to go kind of like, you know, a long time. And the only thing with this is through the week, it's okay. We have done that before, like 6 to 9 or something like that. But
Well, the only other Saturday would be February 28th, because 7th doesn't work for Ms. Trueblood.
The 28th work for you?
Yeah, that was crazy.
9 o'clock.
What about 8 o'clock?
Making me get up early as it is.
So we're going to go February 8th, 28th.
9, I would ask. Thank you. Yeah.
Now, March 5th.
Gonna be excused. Dude, you're gonna run out of battery power before you make a decision. Oh no, I got another one. Came prepared. There we go. Good son. Penny, what are you doing March 2nd? I'll tell you what he's doing March 17th.
So either March 3rd, which is a Tuesday, or March 9th, which is a Monday.
I should have thrown the Snickers. I should have thrown the Snickers.
That's the Tuesday.
You just said it's not good.
Oh,
MUA.
MUA. What about the 5th? Can we go to the?
The 5th was the back plan.
Well, can we go in the other room and suggest you advertise?
This thing off?
Second.
Oh. Oh. Okay.
So Monday, March 9th, sounds like it's good.
Monday the 9th. I'll get yours when I can.
What time is your meeting? Okay, so Monday, March 9th at 6 p.m.
They don't even know yet. Okay, then. No, we'll
Okay, so is council okay with those dates?
You said March 9th?
And February 28th, which is Saturday at 9 a.m.
And Monday the 9th is 6.
Yeah.
Want to make it 6:30?
Do you want 6:30?
Anybody want 6:30?
I'll leave somebody else in charge. They've got to learn how to do it anyway.
6:05.
Is 6:30 okay with the rest of the council?
On the 6:30.
Ms. Fleming's recommending 6:30. Does council at 6 o'clock or 6:30? Or as Amy suggested, 6:15?
Dave, do you want to do
Thank
it
you.
at 6:45?
Thank you. 6:30 is that okay?
Can't make 6:25.
Moving on to the bill list,
Hey.
Ms. Stinney pulled from the bill list on page 5.
Okay, yes. I would like to ask the solicitor if he would just give us an update on the litigation there. And,
Is that Buster's thing?
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
We had filed an appeal from the trial judge's decision going back probably a year and a half ago, 2 years ago now. And the reason that this is on the bill list now is in January, I argued the appeal in the New Jersey Appellate Division before a 3-judge appellate panel in Newark, New Jersey. That's where the judges were sitting that day. And we're awaiting a decision. So we should have a decision soon. Like that's why it's on the bill list, and that's where the matter is.
I don't remember it being on our litigation report for the,
No, I think you're right, Sherry, because quite frankly, when we did that in December, right? I think we did that in early December, and that appeal had been pending for so long.
you forgot?
I actually forgot. And then in December, I got a notice from the, before Christmas, we got a notice from the appellate division about oral argument. But I actually had forgotten to include it because the appeal had been pending for so long that it didn't even strike me that it was still pending. I apologize for that.
Didn't forget anything else,
Not that. Yes, I forget. No, no. A little serious is the answer.
And I did have another question on the bill list, but it is my fault that I didn't mark it and give the description and the title. So I'll just wait for next month, next week. Okay, thank you. And thank you, Andy, for when I spoke with you today and getting the other information. You were very, very thorough with me, and I really do appreciate it.
Diane, I have been accused of talking too much.
Sorry.
not by us.
Is there a motion to
Other people,
approve?
my wife.
Is there a motion to approve?
I would like to approve the bill list.
Second. Wait a minute, no, just that bill.
Just that bill.
Just, yes,
Yeah, so
just for that bill, yes.
Amy, please pull the council.
Mrs. Stinney?
Yes.
Ms. Stoll?
yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Ms. Trueblood? Yes. Mr. Allen?
Yes. Ms. Skoll, you requested that something be pulled from the bill list also, page 8.
Yes. 00372, I need to abstain.
Is there a motion to approve? Amy, please pull the council.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Ms. Trueblood? Yes. Ms. Stinney?
Yes.
Ms. Stoll?
Abstain.